I'm Law Murray, and this is the 2023 NBA Epitome Game Series, where I pick out one game from each team from the last regular season. I am putting the spotlight on the biggest weakness of the 14 teams that missed the playoffs and the biggest strength of the 16 playoff teams from the regular season. The NBA just had the most efficient offensive season in league history. While Sacramento had the top-rated offense, the best offense we saw last season came from the opponents of the San Antonio Spurs. That's right, the Spurs had the hardest time defending out of any team last year. The epitome game for the Spurs came early in the season, week 2 at Minnesota, the second game of the mini-series. The Spurs actually won the first game and defended Anthony Edwards well. Spoiler alert, Spurs weren't able to do it again. This was the first play of the game. There's not a whole lot you can do about a guy who hits a pull-up contested three at the top of the arc, which is what Anthony Edwards did. It set the tone for the rest of the night. He hit 5 first-quarter threes. The Spurs as a team made 4 first-quarter threes. It wasn't just Anthony Edwards. He had 18 at halftime, but the Spurs, they tried man. They tried zone. You see here that they tried pressing D'Angelo Russell. He had 5 second-quarter assists. All 12 baskets that the Timberwolves made in the second quarter came off of an assist. Now, the San Antonio Spurs were able to keep this from getting completely away from them. And a big part of it was their ball movement. 41 third-quarter points, 10 assists in that third quarter. Josh Richardson had 3 of those assists. You see here running the pick and roll with Jakob Poeltl. But the Timberwolves were able to stay in front. Karl-Anthony Towns had 18 points on 8 of 12 field goals entering the fourth quarter. Anthony Edwards beat the Spurs from the outside to begin the game. To finish the game, he beat them inside. As you see him post Josh Richardson, spin away from Jakob Poeltl, no rim protection. I know, Victor Wembanyama's on the way. This was a game where the Timberwolves didn't shoot many free throws, a hallmark of a Greg Popovich defense. Spurs had fewer turnovers, and despite Rudy Gobert starting next to Cat, the Timberwolves didn't have a single offensive rebound. It did not matter. The Timberwolves were able to make 65% of their shots, including 20 of 34 threes, 58.8% from deep. The Spurs were the only team in the league last year to permit teams to make more than half of their field goals at 50.7%. We'll see how much of an impact Victor Wembanyama can have. Stay tuned for the next installment of the 2023 NBA Epitome Game Series featuring the Houston Rockets.